Welcome back. You're watching our CNBC-TV18 special. We're bringing you the pre-budget poll highlights in collaboration with BMR. Just before the break, we were talking about the GST. We asked respondents, will a timeline on the implementation of the goods and services tax be committed to in this budget? And guess what, Rajeev, Dimri? A majority believes that yes, indeed, there will be a specific timeline given by the finance minister in the GST, in the light of the fact that we've just had a meeting between state finance ministers and the finance minister. On the face of it, the contentious issues remain, but they're now saying that we are ready to go forward with the GST. Do you believe there will be a timeline in the budget?
I hope there is, but this is not the first time we've had timelines.
No, it is certainly not the first time.
So, but you know, the fact that within the first week of the government taking over, they openly talked about GST. There are some action steps that have taken place in engaging with the different stakeholders. I think that's a visible, serious attempt at doing it. The fact that there might be, or a possibility that there might be a specific date given in the budget, will have to be taken with a pinch of salt, because it certainly involves so many moving parts in making it happen that it requires a sustained, concerted effort to make it happen. But yes, so far the actions and the words are creating a hope that something more tangible will happen in the budget, and I think that's what's reflected in the survey.
Do you believe that 2015 is the timeline that we could see him announce, or 2016 to be on the safe side?
The whole process of amending the constitution and getting ready, if there was to be a promise that it will happen in 2015, I think that should not be accepted by anyone. I think 2016 would be a realistic timeline, so long as I mentioned, a sustained effort continues to happen towards that deadline, starting this week itself.
Okay. GST, hopeful?
Yes, hopeful. They should, I don't think it will happen immediately, but give a defined timeline and follow it.
Okay. We also asked, will surcharge on corporates and high-income earners be continued? What do you think, Mr. Godhwani? You're one of those, I can't remember the exact number that Chidambaram had given for people with incomes over 1 crore.
I can assure you I'm not there.
You're not there? That would be surprising.
Very surprising, right?
So do you believe that the surcharge will continue?
I think it will continue.
Saurabh?
I think so. I don't think they'll touch that right now.
The poll certainly seems to believe, and in fact, a majority, almost 80%, that the surcharge will continue, Gokul.
But we are hoping that no other new bad tax will come in.
Yeah. But is that because what I've been given to understand is that they don't want to hike taxes, they don't want to hike duties, because that is not the mandate that was given to this government. Would you go along with that?
I said, I would certainly think that they should avoid that, because those slay of hands of introducing some little thing here, some little thing there, isn't really worth it for them in terms of any political returns.
Sure. So you believe that the current surcharge will continue, and you hope that there won't be any new sessions or surcharges that will be added on. Rajeev, will tax holidays and incentives applicable to infrastructure, power and other capital-intensive sectors be extended? What's your sense?
I personally think that there are bigger issues to be sorted, then just giving a tax holiday will not, kickstart the sector. So whether it is there or not there, I think the answer to kickstarting this sentiment here lies somewhere else. By not extending it, you are creating one more deterrent to an already, low morale, and therefore this sector needs support. Just as the concession has been extended on the excise duty cuts, which were announced in the interim budget until the end of the year, I think some more time needs to be given, and existing benefits must not get switched off. They must continue.
Then we come to the big controversy, and of course this has been a year, this is a budget demand that comes up pretty much every year. Will they remove the applicability of the minimum alternate tax, or MAT, and the dividend distribution tax? Who believes on this table that MAT is going to be done away with and DDT is going to be done away with, or at least MAT on special economic zones will be done away with?
I think they should do it. If they have the courage to take a call, they should do it.
It's a little over 40% believe unlikely, and a little over 50% believe likely.
I'm stuck here and there, but I think they should look at it. 50-50.
Yeah, you're 50-50.
I'm 50-50, but I think on the SEZ that might happen. I don't think it'll happen across the board.
Gokul?
SEZs are the only sector where they may have a rollback. But the rest of the sectors, I think the MAT is here to continue. I think the government is quite clear. They need a de minimis 20% tax rate applicable on profitability in this country. So if you see, most of the numbers seem to be migrating towards that magical number, because that's the back tax for calculating their revenue needs.
Rajeev?
I think this budget will be too soon for the government to take such a sort of important step, because this is not just a step for the affected companies, it's a larger message also. A lot of these specific steps should be taken in the normal budget in the sense...
Next year. Okay, so wrap-up comments from everyone in 10 seconds. If it's a status quo, as Gokul said, status quo on taxes, status quo on duties, no repealing of the retrospective tax, some clarificatory or big messages, intent as far as infrastructure and so on and so forth is concerned, how much would you give Arun Jaitley?
We'll give about 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Saurabh Srivastava?
I think if we make some bolder statements on...
what is the boldest statement that you expect from him?
I think a time frame and some numbers on how the resources are going to get raised, which is disinvestment, very clearly, what they'll do for FDI, very clearly to my mind, and absolutely a commitment to creating a non-adversarial tax regime.
Okay. The boldest statement you expect?
The boldest statement is to deal with some of the tax controversies, and his commitment to try and end those controversies in relation to transfer pricing and in relation to some of the resolution around retrospective tax impacts. If he can achieve that, I think for the 6 weeks that he's been a finance minister...
You'll give him 10 on 10. You'll give him 10 on 10, Rajeev.
Something similar. I think the point that I would want to make is that we have a problem. The whole world knows it. The government needs to first accept it. And that would be the boldest statement that, yes, we have a problem. The problem is the credibility is completely... When we not only have the worst tax system in the world, we have the worst operating environment in the world.
Right.
At least accept it and then say, I'm going to solve it.
Okay, so accept the problems that you have and try and take on those problems head on. Perhaps 6 weeks is not enough time, but lay out a roadmap very clearly on by when you intend to address some of these issues. 6 on 10 if he doesn't repeal the retrospective tax law, 10 on 10 if he deals with transfer pricing and retrospective. Gentlemen, we'll find out on the 10th of July whether Arun Jaitley is 6, 10 or somewhere in between, but thank you very much for joining us here. That's a wrap of the budget poll brought to you by CNBC-TV18 and BMR advisors. We'll see you again. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.